Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to have the opportunity to talk about a little passion project of mine. You see, the world of YouTube, technically, I should be going through the algorithms, trying to figure out exactly what the people want and doing a video on that. And in today's video, we're not quite going to do that. Instead, we're going to do a video on a topic that I want to do, and I'm going to be selfish about it, but trust me, it's because it's for a good cause. Now, this video is all about the world of tasks as an accountant. Typically as an accountant, we spend a lot of our time doing things that we've been told to do it, and not really going about doing things any differently. And times have changed and things have progressed, but there's still certain things where we're still very much stuck in the past. That's what this video is all about. It's all about tasking. And instead of doing tasking based on dates, which we'll talk about later but has its own flaws, we're going to be talking about what's called dynamic tasking. And I'm going to show you how we at Boffix have developed our own little internal system that just goes purely on dynamic tasking and show you the benefits of it. So let's roll that intro and get straight into it. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking all about the world of dynamic tasking and how it can really help be more productive in the world of accountancy. But first of all, what's it against? Well, it's against the world of date tasking. If I look at a typical task management solution, it's typically going to be driven by dates. And normally, as the user, we have to tell that task management solution, first of all, that the task is needed to do, and in most circumstances, we need to give the date in. Now, in some tasks in the world, actually, you can automate that a little bit more. For example, our wonderful friends over at Client Engager, if you were to put a task in for your client to need to do a set of accounts, well then it will go to company's house, grab the date that it's due and bring that in to form basis of your task management solution. For the most part, for some of your bigger tasks like doing a set of accounts, that works perfectly. And other than a bit of resource management, trying to figure out what's works, at least the idea that if you run to a deadline or an internal deadline in our case, then that way you can be able to prioritize work and make sure that work's working well. And other than a surprise set of accounts that's from a new client or from a client who's just decided to take on your service, then most of the time that's pretty well all you need. Because from a capacity planning point of view, you look back at the dates, you look forward at the dates, and you're just making sure that you deliver your service before that date expires. And that works really, really well. But that's the accounting side. As an accountancy practice, we have far more services that we deliver. And a lot of them, just a purely date-driven service isn't always enough. And the one that always springs to mind, the one that I talk about the most, and the one that we decided to build our solution for, was bookkeeping. You see, bookkeeping itself, in its totality, is about you providing a service to your client and making sure that the client's books are nice and clean and tidy. Now, we could set it as a date that before the end of each month, each one of the clients that we're doing our bookkeeping for have some sort of interaction, some sort of bookkeeping done. Problem is that every client's going to be different. Some clients, well, you only need to go in once a month and you'll be absolutely on top of everything they have. In other clients, if you went in just once a month, that could be a whole day of your capacity completely taken up. Some clients, that's even more than that. Also, don't forget that with clients, you're at the mercy of what information they can provide. And sometimes it's out of their hands. Sometimes you would want to go and do that particular task, but you just don't have the data you need to complete it because the data may not be available yet. And that's where dynamic tasking comes into play. Another key factor of the old traditional way versus dynamic is that you're reliant on you remembering or someone in your team remembering to turn that service on and apply it. But what if your clients decided, actually, I want to do the bookkeeping myself now? What if the clients decided, actually, I can't do the bookkeeping, I need your help? In both circumstances, your do you provide the service is going to be yes or no. And in both circumstances, if you use the traditional manner, it's going to be a manual entry that does that. And again, that's where dynamic tasking comes into play. You see, how our bookkeeping task management solution works is that first and foremost, it's run off one of the most important databases any business in the world can ever have, and that's our invoice database. It will look through our invoices that we've generated in a month, and it will look through there and find clients that we're offering the bookkeeping service for. Then it extracts that information and it does phase one. Phase one is it activates the service. The next thing it does is it then uses data it can achieve to try and find out, using algorithm, using the ability to be able to see data that we've got available, to figure out how often that client needs to have the work done. Then it looks at the capacity that we have and finds out exactly how much work we can allocate and does exactly that. Dynamically allocates the work automatically. No interaction from ourselves, no having to make sure we've turned a feature on and off. All we need to do is invoice a client for that service. And if the client get invoiced, the task get automatically generated, and based on the internal factors, we'll then be able to make sure that it can be done on a regular or not so regular basis, depending on the criteria that's there. That way we have confidence that when it comes to delivering our service as a dynamic task management solution, all we need to do is make sure we've got the capacity available, the resources available to deliver the service, but we can have confidence the service itself will be delivered. Let me show you what I mean. So here's our task management solution in front of us. Okay, so the system itself is never going to be so pretty, but it's the way it works that's the important thing. So in front of us, and they've all been blurred out, but are 4 clients ready for us to go and produce some bookkeeping for. But how did it get here? Well, it's all been driven, like I said, by the database, which is what we've invoiced in the month. So we invoice for our client, and if we include the bookkeeping service on the invoice, then it'll automatically appear in this database. Now, using that is because QuickBooks offers APIs, and APIs give you the opportunity to bring it in. And we use a solution called GACOM to be able to bring that data directly into here. Now, when the data's in here, the clever bit then is we need to assess each of those clients, figure out how many transactions they're going to be needing and looking at, and then we can work accordingly. You'll see on this database here, we brought in some really important information. The first bit is we use a class system in QuickBooks to determine how much they're paying for at any point in time. So we could have clients who pay for 1 to 150 transactions a month, or 0 to 30 transactions a month. They're going to be very, very different in terms of how much work we need to apply for them. And that means that our algorithm takes that data, figures out what it's going to be, and then determines how many times that client needs to be looked at. Because again, in some circumstances, some of our clients just need 1 look at a month. 1 bookkeeping service per month will be all they'll need to keep on top of everything. But some will need it much more regular. Now, the way we do that then is that we grab that data. We also determine based on how much the client's paying us as well. That's another factor. And we then have an opportunity then to do an algorithm that's going to determine what the figure is. We also use the previous health check that we've done, the previous bookkeeping that we've done, because we capture there really important information. Let's have a look. Right, let's say here that I've got Ask the Accountant to do. Great podcast, by the way. So that has been presented to me based on the algorithm, based on everything else that's worked, and now I can go through looking at it. Well, with this system, I've got some really cool features. First and foremost, well, I'm using deep link technology. So using this update button here, this will take me directly to Boffix and the invoice area. Because maybe I come along to here and realize that I need to change something relating to the invoice. Maybe I need to change the 1 to 5 or the amount we pay or something like that. Well, using this deep link technology, I go straight there. And it's based all on the name that's there. Then I have my checklist that I need to complete. Now the checklist is an idea that I'll go through and I'll make sure things have happened. And also I get nice little links here so that I can go in and go straight to that client and that area. So I clicked on receipt capture just here, it will take me directly to Ask the Accountant and the receipt capture area, making sure that's nice and clear. I can do the same for my bank cleared area, then it will go straight to Ask the Accountant, straight to the bank area. I'm going to make sure that's been cleared as well. Or I could go to the business overview area, and from here I can see exactly what's going on. So I can see here any issues I might have, any transactions that I need to be looking at, and keep on top of that sort of area just directly from this bit. So that's combining deep link technology with dynamic tasking. The task itself is generated by the system, and then those deep links are then generated based on which task has been associated, which means that basically I can continue to complete it. Yes, my receipt capture's cleared. Yes, my bank's cleared. How many transactions I've got at the moment? I've only got one transaction. And do I need to put a forward note? No, that's okay. Then I can ask the question, is this the first check of the month? Because if it is, then I've got some more questions I might want to clear. No, if that's not the first one of the month, and it's because we've already done it in February because we did it up here, I just press next, press submit, and that's done. And the cleverness of the system is now, as the accountant's been removed from my dashboard, got 15 to do in the particular day, so I've got 14 more to go, and the task-wise is all dynamic, so it'll just present me with the next person to come along. And it's as simple as quick as that. And if you combine a dynamic task solution with deep links directly to where you go, that's where the efficiencies come from. We've also built into here the ability to be able to put forward notes in and take notes from the client area as well. So in theory, we should be in a position where we can give all the information we need for anyone who comes along to do the work. And that's the beauty of dynamic tasking. It's not something that's been readily available in the world of accountancy, but I think you can see the benefits that you get from doing it this way. This way, we can be far more productive in terms of being able to look at capacity. I now know that there's 15 days, and each one of those tasks that I did is automatically recording how long it took me to do that task. So in theory, I should now know as well how much time I need from a capacity point of view from my team to be able to deliver the service efficiently. And if I ever have any situations where maybe standards are dropping or I'm not getting through enough, then I can go to the algorithm and tweak it slightly to be able to make sure that I'm either providing more touch points for clients, or in some cases pulling those touch points back in certain clients and passing it over to other. I can be dynamic in how much my resource is managed and how much my resource is then pushed around into equal individual clients. Again, if we were just using that standard date management of your task, you don't have any of that. All you can do is maybe move or bring forward or push back the expectation date to be completed. But we're not talking about dates here. We're talking about someone's actually paid for something. That's what dynamically creates it, right? It all comes back to the invoice. So if someone's actually paid, if a client's paid for a solution, number one, we will provide that solution because it's dynamically going to be included in the database. And number two, depending on how much the client's paid for and the other criteria that we've set, we can then go and actually look and see and make it clean. Because that's the other thing with this, because we're gathering data while we're going through, including how messy and how dirty that client is. Well, a messy client will have to have more information going through, and we also need to be careful that we're charging correctly for that. Dynamic database and dynamic tasking can do that for me. So if I go through that checklist and basically dictate that client's are really messy, got lots of moving pieces, well, the database already knows how much we're charging, can already see how long we're spending, and then it provides me a delta to say that we should really be looking at reviewing that client's invoice. That's the beauty of dynamic tasking. We're taking that data and we're reacting to the data, not just having a set date that we need to work towards. It's going to take a lot of time, but I think that this is the way that all systems going forward should at least give us a choice to be able to implement. Because for certain tasks out there, bookkeeping especially, having the ability to dynamically provide the work for your clients is going to massively enhance the way that you're able to deliver that service. And for me, that's a really, really important part of delivering the service, is having confidence that you can deliver it to the best standards. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your theories and thoughts about it. Do you think dynamic tasking should be implemented more often? Do you think dynamic tasking is a waste of time? I'd love to know below. Let me know below, and the more we get conversation down there, the more conversation points we have, maybe the more we can push towards vendors to start thinking about implementing this in their solution. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. If you found this video at all useful, please use that subscribe button, use that like button, use the comment section just to give us a bit of interaction. That way, we'll be able to do more videos like this. It's going to help you and your practice, or you and your business, go further. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As I said, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.